everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. So my voice is scratchy. We were on a nice long vacation. We went to Maui. And as soon as I got home, it's like my allergies hit. So on top of the time difference and all of the stuff I have to get caught up on, I thought I'm going to try to get this video in real quick. But my grandson is also, he got sent home from daycare yesterday. He's 7 months old. Because he was throwing up. So he never threw up again once they got him, but he can't go back for a day. So I have him today. So I'm going to try to get this done super quick, so there's not going to be a lot of fluff before they get here. So let's see. Here's a couple of cards that you may have missed because they posted while I was gone or close to. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, cross my fingers that I get this posted today. But if you're watching it the day that the video posts and it's still the 18th, that's the question. If I can get it up while he's here. 7 months and crawling and into everything. So, you can't just leave him any place. He doesn't like to be in the crib at my house because it's grandma's house and you get whatever you want, right? When Mimi lets you do whatever you want to do, then it's payback when I actually have to do something myself, because most of the time if he's here, it's about him. So today I'm going to use Gathering Moments. It's going to be a totally different card than this. On this one, I used the paper, I used the embellishments that are part of the suite, and then I used these large dies. So this video is posted. You can go watch that one. But today I'm going to concentrate on the stamps because that's what's on sale if I get this up today. So this is just a really sweet little stamp set, and we are going to do it in kind of a pop of fun fall colors. So I just have some scrap paper here, and then I have a piece of vanilla cardstock. We're just using vanilla that's 4 by 5 1/4, and then one that is 11 by 4 1/4, and this is going to be our card base. So go ahead and fold this so it's not taking up all the space on the table. And it will be like this. Then we have one to stamp on. So let's do our stamping. Yesterday when I did the first card, I didn't know how many things to stamp. So you can see I have a few extras over here, so I might not need to stamp them all. So let's start with the oak leaf. And what I did was I did them all in 2 colors. So we're gonna stamp and maybe I'll just stamp. I thought about stamping and stamping and then also doing my blending brush at the same time while the colors are open, but I think I won't because I'll forget something. So I have Darling Duckling and Timid Tiger. On the second ones, I'm not going to clean. I'm just going to do that. I also have my daughter cared for our cats and my niece while we were gone, so they get lots of love. But now that we're home, you'll hear them crying in the background because mommy's here and they think I should be taking care of them. So then let's do the big leaf, and I did that one in, hear her? Normally I would pause the video and go tell her she's loved and she doesn't need to cry down there, but got things to do. So this is Peach Pie. You can see on my pads that are a little bit more wet that I'm stamping and then kind of dragging it off. And this would be all of my newer pads. Because here it is, and that's horrible. We'll try that again. When they're really wet on these ones like this, you don't want too much ink. And because I was talking, I wasn't paying attention, that had pulled up on the edge. Here's a Cajun Craze, which is an older pad. So sometimes, old is best. Some of us know that, don't we? So this is Cajun Craze. All I did was stamp on it like normal. And look how much better that is. So you just want to make sure that when you have your newer pads, they are going to be a little bit inky. You can try to stamp off. The Cajun Craze stamps off, and this one would have stamped off. That's the stamp off on it. And red rubber's going away, so soon this won't be an issue because, well, it kind of does the same thing on photopolymer, I guess. And then let's over here, I have Blackberry Bliss. And there's some little, this is also an older pad, so it's easier to work with. And then I have Fresh Freesia. Older pad. So you can see those do a lot better. And then, what am I missing? Maybe that's all of them. No, the acorns. Oh, and the mushrooms. Well, I don't need to do mushrooms because I do have 2 mushrooms left that I didn't use. And this is in Berry Burst and Petunia Pop. I only used 1. So you can see because I stamped lots of things. I didn't know what I needed yesterday. So we have that. And then I don't have any spare acorns. Where are they on the back of? They're here. And I stamped them yesterday in both Pecan Pie and Basic Beige. I didn't end up using the Basic Beige ones, but I did use 2. This isn't even the cat that's growing of the Pecan Pie. Again, an older ink pad. Come on. So you can see it stamps nicely. I'm also hoping to not have to do a lot of editing on this video so I can get it up faster. So, oh goodness. A lot of this happens on all of my videos. You just don't see it because I take time to move them or get it out. So here are these, and then the set comes with dies to cut out all of those. So I'll cut those out, oh my goodness, in just a second. You would think that we left them for years the way they act. Come on. So now I'm gonna add some color to the background. I don't even know where she got the string from. Of my, that time I made her get down. Normally I don't make them get all the way down. I put them on the back of my chair, but she's not cooperating. So I'm gonna start, I have 1 blending brush that I have used on all the colors. So I'm gonna try to show you how you can do that. So you can see over here I did my oranges and my yellows, and because I don't need a lot of any one color. So this is Darling Duckling. I want some vanilla to stay at the bottom. I'm going to start off the edge. Just kind of drag that over. Because this has some color on it, they may kind of blend, but I'm okay with that. Go this way so you get a little bit more yellow there. So there is our Darling Duckling, and I'm just going to kind of go up in. So let's do Peach Pie. And from the lightest to the darkest. A little bit of Peach Pie. And then let's do, move these out of the way, some Timid Tiger. Whoops. And then let's do some Petunia Pop. And for this one, I'm going to switch to this side of my brush. See how I've kept the oranges and yellows over there. And then some Berry Burst. I may have run out of room to get any of the blackberry on there. I'll just do a thin little line of Berry Burst. And then one little, whoops. What happens when you're trying to go fast? 1 pop of Blackberry Bliss. And then we have a really fun background. It's fallish, but a little bit on the bright side of fall. Then I have the greeting, and I'm going to do it in espresso. I'm just going to do it down here in the corner. It says, "Your friendship means the world to me." I'm happy that turned out because, you know, sometimes when you're not, when you're in a hurry and you stamp fast, it's important to mount your stamps straight when you mount them, and then you don't have to worry as much. And then there's this little flannel piece. I'm going to do it in Pecan Pie, but I'm barely going to touch. And again, I mounted it straight because the way that it looks on the stamp, it doesn't look straight when you're stamping it. So mount it straight, and then you can line this up here along the bottom of the paper, and you know it's going to be straight. Just going to add some random ones. And then there are some little dash marks. I'm gonna do those in my Darling Duckling. Because I want them to be on there, but I don't want them to be obvious. And Darling Duckling is a strong enough yellow that you can see it's even showing on the back of the darker colors. So now I'm going to run this through the folder that's part of the suite and then cut out these that I need to make enough of my card. All right, so that's all done. One thing I wanted to do was kind of blend these a little bit more and make them a little bit more sparkly. So I have my shimmer solution, which I'll have the link on how to make this. It is a wink of Stella and glycerin. And then this is the blending brush I use for it. And I've been doing this for over a year now, and it's the same blending brush. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and squirt it here in this dimensional because, like I said, we've been away and I cleaned everything up. So my standard, normally I use a block, but there wasn't a block laying here. So just get this on here, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend this. It will make some of the colors mix, but I'm good with that because it's fall. Now if I get it here on my words, they'll smear a little bit, but that's okay. They smeared a little bit more on my other one because I did it before I ran it through. So you can see it kind of brightens them up. It gives a little bit of shimmer to them. Makes a really pretty background. And then I'm just gonna grab my leaves and I'm gonna add a little bit of shimmer to them, but I'm not gonna rub so much because I don't want them to smear too much. I'm just gonna do it over here because of time. So that's good for that. Now let's put this together. So I'm kind of just trying to decide if I want to do it the way I did it the first time. I think I will, because you never know if it's going to turn out different. So I just put leaves on here that would drop, and that's got wet shimmer on it, which is why I did it second the first time. Let's see if this sticks. We're just going to add them kind of falling all around. Most of them I am going to do with my seal, and then I'll pop up a couple of them at the end. Because I did it like this, and then I ended up adding some ribbon. So the ribbon has to go over the top. The ribbon I'm gonna use is on clearance. So it might not be around forever, but it is still currently there. So now let's pop some of these up. The other one, I had one more purple thing. I guess I didn't cut enough of them out. So we'll use an extra of the mushrooms. Because I have 2 of these on my first card. I stamped 2 of everything in every color, but that was way too much. I didn't need that much on here. And then, like I said, because I'm in a hurry, I thought it'd be faster to just stamp what I thought I needed, but I might not even need the other purple one. Make sure your things don't all go the same direction. So then I took this wide ribbon, and when one of my things is downstairs. So we're gonna improvise on this one. And I knew that was going to run out. I thought maybe I could make it through this card, but apparently not, because you know, I have an extra one, refill sitting here. So I'm just gonna wind this around. This is one of my favorite ribbons, and it's the one that is on. This one I might not have to do the second one because I'm doing this. Where's the little bit of adhesive that I had left on here? I'm wrapping this around before. The other one, the ribbon was a complete afterthought at the end, so it kind of covered some stuff up. Now we're gonna use some dimensionals. This will help hold that on there. And then I won't have to refill my thing before the end of this video. These are just the edges of my dimensionals. And then grab my card, which I may have inky fingers now. I don't know if they're inky as much as they have some of the shimmer solution on them. Pop this on here. I thought about putting it on another color, but then when I laid it on the vanilla, I really liked the vanilla pop just on the back. But you could use any of the colors of cardstock. And then of course I chose a really slow embellishment, so I'm going to use the loose gold sequins, or maybe not. Maybe we'll change them again on this one. Let's do this because it will also work. These are from the traditional Christmas suites, and you'll get to see it with two because there are gold in here, because the amount of time that it will take me to glue and pull all those sequins out is a lot more time than it's going to take to do this. And so far it looks like I may beat my daughter's arrival. So these come in, you can see they're in different colors. I'm only using the gold, and then they're in different sizes as well. There's more of the sequins that I'm going to put of these. Because they're sequins, and you know, little glue drops. So there you go. The card's so fast you can make it after you showered and got ready for people to come over in the morning, even when you don't feel at the top of your game. So here's that one. So I'll show you the differences of this one. Overall, they're not. This one I pressed harder on the brown, and at the end I thought that's a little bit too much. So you can kind of see it back here, but I didn't want it to be quite as out there as this. But this one, because I tied this over at the end, it was covering up too many of my leaves. The way that I had to go because the card was finished. So I took another piece of, this is the ribbon that is in Card Club this month. It's part of the autumn suite that's in the catalog. And I just knotted that together. And then there's the sequins. So there you go. So hopefully I'll get this up. And if I get it up today, I think it's the 18th, and stamps are 15% off. Have a great one. Bye.